Welcome to the pregame with Kurt Jangle. I'm your host, Kurt Jangle. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a good one. Got a long weekend ahead of most of us here. Looking forward to that. As you notice, I'm doing a solo show today because I realized, I've done this show a couple weeks now. I don't really explain anything about, or at least not explain very well about what this show is really supposed to be, why I'm doing it. So I figured I would take this opportunity this week, since I didn't have a guest lined up or a topic in mind, to go over that a little bit in a segment I'm going to call the Jangle Angle. First things first. As always, got to get my beverage ready. Cheers. All right. So initially when I started this because I had some friends and we were doing Extra Life charity fundraisers, and we'd stream for those, and I realized how much fun I had doing that. And I wanted to do that more often because the Extra Life streams there a couple times a year, one big one in November. And I will start mixing those into these episodes eventually. I'm going to keep them separate a little bit for now, I think, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we started doing the Extra Life streams. And like I said, just having a lot of fun with that, and a lot of fun just talking to my friends, playing games, hanging out. And I wanted to spin that off and see if I, enjoyed doing that more often, outside of, just a little more, I don't want to say relax isn't the right word, but a little more just off the cuff, random, just doing whatever, not having any, again, not sure what the right word is for this. I'm not having any agenda, and I don't like the word agenda for that because it's a charity, and that just sounds weird, but it's kind of the best word I can think of right now. I started putting together the ideas for this a couple years ago, and starts and stops, and never really got everything together for it. And then I woke up one day and was just like, I have to do this. I have to just start. So I did. So I just started. And you can too. If you've got something that you've been thinking about, you're kicking around in your head, and like, oh, I'll do this when I get everything right. I'll get everything together, and I'll get it all sorted. And now just do it. Just bare minimum. Find out, look around, whatever you've got to start with that. If you enjoy doing it with the bare minimum equipment and tools available to you, you're going to have a much better time if you get better stuff. So that's kind of the attitude I try to approach things with, and that just comes from my background in punk rock and hardcore music, and I told people I was like, I'm gonna start singing in bands, and they're like, can you sing? I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll grab a mic and start making noises into it, and I did. And people liked it, and I'm doing it with just talking, and people seem to be enjoying that too. So I'm gonna keep doing it. Oh yeah, I always introduce my drinks. Again, 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I usually grab a couple beers from a local brewery. Wanted to go just get a nice bottle of my favorite bourbon, Larceny. A friend of mine turned me on to this, and that's was another thing I wanted to incorporate into the show, the pregame. As far as like you're getting ready for your weekend. Have a couple drinks, have a couple snacks. I keep forgetting to bring snacks. So does every guest I had. Nobody's brought snacks yet, really. Not too much anyway. The first episode 0, I had hummus. I'm still thinking about that hummus. I need to get some more of that. Anyway, the pregame is just kind of about getting together, relaxing after the work week, getting ready for the weekend, kind of settling in and chilling out. One of the higher-minded ideas I had for it was we would do the show and immediately like link to somebody that was doing a live stream of a game. Um, but yeah, maybe that'll come along in time. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I can sort out how to jump straight over to another streaming software other than this one for a gaming thing. But anyway, there's ideas I had for that. And everything idea wise kind of evolved and took shape differently over the years that I was mentally preparing to do this. Then when I finally jumped in and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, I started looking around at the landscape of things. Um, and I realized there's just so many people. I was looking at other people that were doing something similar to what I was doing. They're talking about video games and wrestling and music and these kind of things. And there's just so much negativity, just so many people that all they do, they get into these hobbies and these scenes, and all they do is they get into just to complain because, rage bait, it gets clicks, it gets attention, but they don't offer anything positive to the community. They just offer negativity and drag things down. And man, that bums me out because there's a lot of stuff I really genuinely love. And, I'll look for places to, connect with people on that. And I just get inundated with hot takes and people complaining about a thing they watch every week or movies that they used to enjoy, but now, whatever, something changed. Somebody got cast they didn't like for obviously stupid reasons that you don't like this. We know what it is. You can say all you want, but we know you're just being a bigot. So I just got tired of that. And I was like, I could do better than that. And yeah, I'm not going to probably be a breakout YouTube star or get my, podcast top of the charts and Spotify. But if I get on a microphone every week and talk about the things I love, genuinely discuss them, and genuinely have conversations about the bad parts of it, because not everything is, great all the time. But it's not as dire as people make it out to be. And there's ways to discuss the low points of your favorite fandom without just crapping all over it. I know that sounds, crazy to some of y'all, but it's there. It's a thing you can do. It's possible. I've done it plenty of times. Most conversations that I have in real life with real people are like that. We can watch a Star Wars movie and then have a good, honest conversation about the things we liked and the things we didn't like. And it's not just, screaming in each other's faces about, oh, I can't believe you like that part. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. Dumb. Get over that. People have to get over that kind of just toxic style of communication. It's not even communication. I'm not going to glorify it with that word, but so that, that's part of it. And that turned into, as you see up above, the only adult on the internet. Because I feel like that sometimes. I feel like the only adult on the internet because I'm the only one that's like, can we just talk about this without, being shitty? Can we? And that said, though, there's always places like Sickos Club. And that's a great community I found of wrestling fans that we do talk about like, hey, I didn't like this, but overall, I'm enjoying the wrestling I'm watching. And it's a great place, great group of people I've met that are super positive, but super realistic at the same time. So I've enjoyed talking to them. And, some of those people are the people that hyped me up to start doing this. If it, probably if it weren't for Sickos Club, I'd still be kind of, yeah, am I going to do it? I probably will. Maybe later. I don't know. But here I am, and I'm doing it. And I'm kind of rambling right now, but, what are you going to do? Yeah, that was kind of where I ended up with the with the idea and, getting into it and finally starting it was just, I got to be something other than that. That's just permeating all the, pop culture stuff that I enjoy. And hopefully some of y'all are down with that too. Like you enjoy you know, having conversations that aren't just vitriol all the time. And I also see I see how it's affecting younger people. It's like I'm in my 40s. Like I've been I've been in this for a long time. All the stuff that's, the stuff I love that's super popular right now and getting over with a mainstream audience, like sometimes you just did not talk about it. Like you had like a core group of 3 or 4 friends that you talked about it with, but anybody else come around, you shut up real quick about it. Like Star Wars was not popular when I was in high school. Wrestling was. But and then like the music I like, that was again like 3 or 4 of us that liked a certain band, and there's 3 or 4 of us that like overlapped with this other band, and it was pretty well splintered. And it was, growing up in Texas high schools, like you're not getting a lot of metal fans, you're not getting a lot of punk fans. I didn't quite know what hardcore was yet, and finding friends in the various tribes, and it just wasn't like it is now. You had the internet, but you didn't have the ease of access. I miss that sometimes, though, to be honest. Like I think I've said this before. It's gotten too easy to use the internet sometimes. And that's what I think led to a lot of people just like, oh, I could capitalize on, these algorithms are set up to push engagement bait to people, and whatever is going to annoy the people most is going to get the most clicks, and it's going to keep them on this website for the longer amount of time, and we push more ads out to them, which is all just a big snake eating its own tail of awful stuff. So, but yeah, like long story short, and it's probably going to end up being longer. I say that, but trying to say long story short is just I want to be the anti-rage bait. I want this show, this little thing here to be actual conversation, actual enjoyment, talking about things that we love. Like I said, video games, wrestling, nerd movies, TV shows, Star Wars, loud music, soft music, just good music. I haven't touched on. I think I'll probably try next week. I think next week I want to do a music episode. I need to wrangle up a couple people for that. Because I got some ideas about how I view music going on right now. I think it would be fun to get in depth with a couple of people and see what I can wrangle up for that. So I've also been asking for questions, and what's up, Neon? Jangle up, yeah. Neon Ghost in the chat. How you doing? How was Ring of Honor? So the other thing I wanted to touch on, I've been asking for questions, and y'all have delivered like some good, like in-depth stuff, and some I'm gonna say like way more thirst than I was ready for. Neon Ghost in the chat is incredible, short but really good matches. Awesome. I think I saw a couple posts like Queen Aminata did a Pure Rules match. I want to check that out. Um, get back to the. So yeah, I've been sent me some really good questions to answer on here, and I didn't really expect a big response uh, when I put that out there. But I was like, oh wow, people really want to know my opinion. That's crazy. Um, and I get some good questions, and like I said, I was not also prepared for the amount of thirst that was going to come my way, but it's much appreciated. I'll get to some of those in a second. I want to start with this though. Um, Sabu's last match, and I think it's another thing. I don't want to jump out with an opinion on something the minute it happens. I think that's almost useless most of the time because there's always going to be more information that comes out. You always need more time to actually process what you think of a situation. So just getting hot takes out to get hot takes out and get clicks, to me, that's pointless. That's useless. It's just hot air. So I got this question about a week or so ago, asking about what I thought about Sabu's last match and if GCW should have gone ahead with it. And I had to actually sit down and think about it because there's a lot of factors went into it. Um, and I came to think about it. It's Sabu. Like you tell Sabu he's not gonna if he's ready to have a match, you tell him he's not gonna have a match. His retirement match. Like, as far as I understand the situation, he went out the way he wanted to go out. The only way he could have ended his career. Like, I'm not saying like he had to pass away immediately, but it's like darkly poetic. And I don't want that to sound callous, but whatever was going to happen during the match, after the match, that was his decision. He wanted to do the match. He almost didn't get to do the match. He did it was a big thing made about he took Kratom and that got him ready to go. A lot of people were jumping all over that. Like, oh, you couldn't let him out there because he was doing this. And like, again, it's Sabu. Like, that's doing some like Kratom that he got at a head shop down the street. Like, he could have been doing so much worse before going out into that ring. And it's tragic. He was in his early 60s. That's no age at all. But I mean, in wrestling years, that's, you know, that's quite a career. So, and a question was also posed to me about it was like one YouTuber said, it's a disgrace that GCW let that match go on. And I looked that up a little bit, and I've never heard of this YouTuber before that said it. Neon in the chat. Sounds like his other medical conditions should have been enough to call it off. I mean, yeah, it's a damned you do, damned if you don't situation. I don't disagree. Like, but again, it's he's a grown man. He made that call. It probably wasn't going to be much use arguing with him about it because he was going to find a way to get out there. Like, I fully believe that if GCW heads higher ups had been like, no, we're not doing this, we're calling it off, he would have ignored it. He would have gone out there and you would have had to You would have had to physically restrain him. Yeah. Sorry, I had to I got a monitor over to the side so I can read the comments. Yeah, and it wasn't the match. It was a hard-lived life that caught up with him. Maybe he doesn't do the match and gets under the couple weeks or months, or maybe just, the same schedule. It just still happens the way it happens. Um, we don't know. We don't know. We weren't there. There's a handful of people that have insider knowledge. We're none of them. We are none of those people. Um, so yeah, all I can do, is just take in what I know, what I understand from what I've read about it. And form an opinion that way. And it comes down to like, it's tragedy. It's sad. I wish it hadn't happened, but it did. It was going to happen one way or another. Like, nobody gets out of this alive. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about that. It is, rest in power, Sabu. You brought a lot of entertainment to a lot of people, and definitely had a huge impact on the way people watch wrestling and the way wrestling is performed and presented to people. So thank you for all of that. Let's move on. Another older question. Let me get this pulled up real quick. Back to my questions. Another question I was asked the other week was my top 4 wrestlers, and I actually answered this. You go back 2 weeks on the Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast. It was me and that's iBlade Daily's podcast. Shout out to him. He's big help get me going on all this stuff too. Me and iBlade and Shane from the Ethos Network did our Mount Rushmores on that episode. So go back to that one. Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. You can find it on Spotify. Where podcasts are. People know where podcasts are. You can find it there. So check that out there. I don't have my top 4 male wrestlers are on there. I had to leave the podcast early though, so I didn't get to do my female wrestlers. So I can probably do those. Try to go off the top of my head. I'm gonna put Lita in there. Game changer, definitely. Recency bias, maybe not. Toni Storm's up there. She's doing incredible things. If you're not paying attention to what she's been doing, you're missing out on some of the best storytelling in professional wrestling and some of the best matches. It's just incredible work all around. Great character, fully committed to the bit. Like, you love to see it. Neon in the chat, Toni might be the best of all time. Absolutely. Absolutely. She is making the case for that right now. So yeah, to Lita, Toni Storm. I'm forgetting. I know I'm forgetting. I meant to write these down. And I get a question and I blank immediately. That's just how my brain works. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think back to the old WWE, WWF stuff. Oh yeah, China. Like talking about game changers. Like you don't get um, a Chris Statlander or a Rhea Ripley. Or even a Willow Nightingale without a China. Just being out there being like, there's room, for an American televised wrestling. I know there's, powerhouse Joshis from the 80s, 90s, but I'm talking about just American televised wrestling. You don't get, like I said, your Chris Statlanders and your Willows and your Rhea Ripleys without a China. Almost have to break into different Neon in the chat. Almost had to break into different categories. Yeah, and that was the caveat that Blade gave us on Sit Down Shut Up was like, we're not breaking it up. Like you have to pick 4 all-timers. And it was just like, oh, that is so much more difficult. Yeah. Because if you gave me like top 4s, Mount Rushmores of like technical wrestlers, brawlers, this style, we can do that all day. But it was just like, this is a definitive 2 Mount Rushmores, men's, women's. So I said Lita, China, and Tony Storm. I'm blanking really hard. And I know there's one people are going to be yelling at me for weeks on end if I don't come up with it. Everybody's got one they can rattle off like, oh, that was my favorite. She's the best, Yeah, I'm gonna put Bailey in there, actually. Yeah. I feel good about that. Bailey is my 4th for the female Mount Rushmore. And then Chad, you said 3 of mine already. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, Bailey's my 4th. Just so kind of weird that because she's more technical, good character, fun. I think probably the least appreciated of the NXT horsewomen. I'll say that. But I think you don't get the other 3 to where they got to without her. Yeah. So Bailey's my 4th for that one. Yeah, that was harder than I thought it was going to be. And I'm sure I'm going to kick myself later. As soon as this ends, I'll be like, oh, so-and-so. And, but that's how these things go. Let's see. What else do we have on questions? Let's see. No questions. Just think you're a babe. Thank you. Much appreciated. Again, I wasn't expecting so many like, oh, hey, how you doing? Kind of. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one. Recent screenshots. I was asked to post my most recent screenshot. I'm going to see if this works. I don't know if it's going to show up, but I'm going to see if I can show these. I'm going to post 2 because they're related. So let me see if I can pull this up. Is that not? Nope, that's not showing up, is it? I might just pull it up on my phone and have to point it at the camera. I try to be prepared for these things, but you know what? You can only do what you can do. Oh, this is really just about, you know, I was talking about Ricochet. So there's some bald sentiment. A large group of bald men is called a fist of thumbs. From Luke Severed, the comedian. If you don't know him, check him out. If you like heavy music and you like comedy, he's your guy. And then from the secret chat, the bald community, and then everybody flooded in with emojis for all the various bald wrestlers. I was giggling to myself as I saw those little faces pop up in the chat. Yeah, that's my recent screenshots. Nothing nothing that off base, probably. Probably not as interesting as you're probably hoping for, but we'll get the the laughy faces from Ghost there on the chat. I'm doing better. I was kicking myself last week because I keep forgetting to say so and so in chat says this, so it doesn't. If it's whenever these go to audio, it's not just these weird non sequiturs. So I'm trying to get better about that. Let's go with. Okay, so this one. Does Kingston dethrone Mox or do we wait for Darby? So I, like probably most of you, really want Eddie Kingston back. I miss that dude on TV so much. But, and I've, fantasy booked a little bit like, oh, what if he comes out during Anarchy in the Arena during Double or Nothing this weekend? And I'd love that. But he also did just post about, like, still working on stuff. I'm finally getting in the ring. We're not there yet, but we're getting somewhere. Cool. And of course, it's like, there's a wrestler. Wrestlers lie. It's part of the job. And it is part of the job. It is part of the job. Like, you got to kayfabe. It's kayfabe. It's been that way since the beginning. That's part of it. But yeah, it's like, you want to throw people off the trail. If you're going to make a big surprise comeback, you got to, make people look the other way. But then again, it's like, I don't want to get my hopes up, and I don't want to, I wouldn't want to be the part of the fan base that's putting pressure on somebody to come back before they're ready. So yeah, I would love Eddie to come back at Double or Nothing. Cold World hits, and it just plays on a loop for the rest of the Anarchy in Arena match. That's my fantasy booking. I would love that to happen. If he's not ready to come back, I don't want him to rush, though. Like, that's just, that's where I am with it. Neon in the chat, I miss Eddie so much. Yeah, I mean, we all do. Like, Eddie's very relatable to me. He's one of those guys I can look at as a character and go like, I've known a lot of Eddie Kingstons in my life. Like, the way he talks, the way he delivers, his promos, how he words things. I know that guy. Like, I've gone to a lot of shows with that guy. I've been to a lot of bars with that guy. Like, if you've never had an Eddie Kingston in your life, you gotta change that somehow. I don't know. Maybe that's just me and kind of the weird peppered existence I've lived, but you don't know what's going to happen when they're around, but it's going to be entertaining at least. But yeah, I miss Eddie. I want him back. As far as Darby, like, it's not going to be Darby. They burned through the Darby Orange Cassidy thing that they looked like they were setting up. early on in this Death Riders run. Because they had that shot, like close-up shot of everybody on ringside, and they were there like featured, like, okay, it's okay. They're showing us, they're trying to show us like where they're going next, and they just they burned through OC, like it was fine, but it could have done more with that. I think anyway. Um, and Darby, he wanted to climb Everest, and he did it. Congratulations to him. That's I would never do that. But it was important to him, and he got to do it. But I think that also kind of took him out of the title scene for now, whether you like that or not. I don't see a narrative. I don't see a natural narrative to get him back into the title scene anytime soon. With everything we've got going on with Hangman and Ospreay, Swerve is still waiting in the wings, like he's still in that orbit. Just throwing Darby back in to throw him back in just doesn't do anything for anybody. Muddies the waters too much. I think after Double or Nothing, we're going to see a more clear path to All In, Y'all In. But yeah, I don't think Darby's going to come back for that. I'm sure they'll find something good to put him in. They'll find a good story for him, but it's not going to be this. It's not going to be the title picture right now. You can get there later, but there's too many people not in the way, but the story is already set and ready to go. The last thing they need to do with the Death Riders and John Moxley's title run is pivot again. Like, I think they finally pivoted into the end game, and now they just need to stay the course, barring, injury or whatever. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. Neon Ghost back in the chat. Conspiracy Minded Folk Online think Darby has already gotten back from Everest, and he is posting those photos a week away from it. Yeah. I saw briefly something about that, and I just immediately... I don't get why people have to get conspiratorial. It's like fantasy booking is fun, but it gets in the way of your enjoyment, I think. I would applaud them if that were the case, but I don't think so. I don't think so either. Like, it would be a great bit of business if they managed to just like time everything right to throw everybody off the trail that much. But yeah, why? Like, you don't need to. There's no point in doing it. It's again one of those things like you're doing it just to do it, just so you can pull one over on the crowd. Like, it's a swerve for a swerve, and we've been Russo'd enough as wrestling fans that we don't need that from TK and AEW now. So I'm not gonna, I'm not. I'll fantasy book for fun with friends, but I won't tie my enjoyment of what happens to how it matches up to what I imagined. Because I'm not the booker. I'm not Tony Khan. I don't have the pencil. So I'm not going to get mad if he does something else because he knows 5 steps ahead of where I'm watching. At least that seems to be the case sometimes. Like, there's kind of a roadmap. And I don't know what the roadmap is. So I'm not going to get mad if things don't happen the way I think they're going to happen or I want them to happen. I'm just here in most things that I enjoy as far as entertainment, as far as non-interactive entertainment, TV shows, movies, wrestling. I'm there to be told a story. I'm there to receive the story that the writer wants to present to me. If I don't like the end of the story, I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not going to complain about it. I just realize, not for me. If a movie ends a certain way, like, oh, okay, I don't like that. There's a sequel, probably not going to watch the next one. But I'm not going to make it my personality to complain about it online. And I'm not going to make it conspiracy theories about wrestlers. Because again, it's just getting in the way of me enjoying it when I get to sit down and watch it. Like, at least that's how I do it. Some people really enjoy dissecting every little thing that goes on. And if that's for you, that's for you. But don't take it out on the rest of us. Fair? I think that's fair. That's good bourbon. What else do we got here? Go back into the questions. Pull these back up. Neon in chat. Hell yeah, good brother. Brother. Recent screenshot. So I've got two questions that kind of tie together, got from different times. Do I like anyone right now? Name your crush. So let's kind of touch on this, I guess, because the other question was name your crush or take 3 shots of whiskey. So I said I was going to answer these questions on air, so I'm going to do that. Let me double check something here real quick. So yeah, I got a few right now, I guess. There's Angela, Pamela, Sandra, Rita, Monica, Eric. Oh no, wait, that's Mambo number 5. Sorry, that's not my crush. That's Lou Bega's Mambo number 5. Sorry, I had to do that. No, but for to just get in good faith to answer in good faith, like I just within the last month, maybe not even month, probably within the last like 2 weeks, was like, oh, I should probably start trying to date again. Like, a lot of other stuff going on, dealing with, there's always mental health stuff I'm dealing with just because I'm a human living in this. And dealing with that, and then trying to, focus on, work and exercise, trying to get my weightlifting routine back on track. Yeah, I've got the big power lift flag. Like it's a big part of who I am, but it's something that I've been slacking on. So I've been trying to get that back on track, to mixed results, honestly. And I really hadn't, just been focused on me for the past year or so. I think that's fair to say. Try to get my stuff together, and it's something I would encourage. Like, I know a lot of people, and I'm included in them. I don't like getting in my own head. And some people, the easiest way to stay out of doing that is just like you get out of a relationship, you get right into another one. You just immediately, find the next relationship you can and keep moving, keep swimming. And I just like that for a while, but I realized like that's not good for me. It's not good for the people I'm, dating. Neon, I have such a desire to even get active, but little time and no drive. Yeah, it's when I'm at work, all I'm thinking about is getting to the gym. And as soon as I get off work, either getting to the gym or going home and playing video games, depends on the day. because of my split, 3 days, work out 3-4 days a week, then play video games, hang out, whatever. All I'm thinking about is like, I want to get out of here and get to the gym, or get out of here and get home and relax and play video games and recover from being at the gym the day before. And then I get off work and I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to even like be awake anymore. I just want to like, man, I don't even want to go to sleep. It's just, I want to just like lay and be nothing. Just be a rock on a bed, doom scrolling on my phone. So, and I know the best way to get out of that is to just start doing the stuff and build up the momentum. And it, and I can get going pretty good sometimes, and then the smallest little thing will affect my mood, and I'm off my schedule again. So it's always a struggle. It's always sometimes rotting is fun. I've enjoyed a good rot session here and there, but it's I got to get away from it. I'm getting too comfortable with it sometimes. Yeah, it's that's the stuff I've been focused on, is trying to get my physical mental health back to a place I can, a maintenance level, easy to maintain level. So I just haven't been really trying, I guess, so much. And it's past like week or two, I'm like, okay, like I could probably like, I don't know, download a dating app and see if that works at all. So I did that. I got out a little bit. I met a couple people that I'm like, oh, you seem pretty cool. Like if I had a chance to, date somebody like that, seems like my type of person. Like, so I'm just now getting a point where I'm actually even thinking about it. So there's that's where I'm at with it. Just trying to get myself better for myself, so that when I do start getting out there again, like I can be as good as possible for whoever I do end up, dating, even long term, short term, whatever it is. I just don't want to go in, because I've rushed into relationships before, and that just didn't work out well. It wasn't good for anybody. Let me see if I got any other questions I pulled up. I think I might have covered everything. Pull that back up for now. Yeah, I think I got through all the questions, unless something came in while I've been recording, which I don't see. Yeah, I don't see anything new there. Ghost, if you're still in chat, if you got any questions, hit me up. Oh, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. Favorite kind and brand of coffee. I've actually, so I started making my own cold brew recently. I like little routines, and that's one routine that's easy to kind of keep track of, because I know when my coffee is running out and I need my caffeine in the mornings. So I bought a whole like French press to make cold brew in. And I've been going through a couple different ones, just trying different ones as I come across them. Right now, it is, I'm going to pull this up so I get it right. I might have to reorder pretty soon, because I'm not getting low, but I don't want to run out. Okay, so right now, Stone Street, a brand called Stone Street, and they do it's kind of a dark roast, but it's meant for making cold brew. Um, and so it's ground differently. It's a more coarse ground, extracts more of the flavor out of it without heat. So the thing about making the cold brew in a French press is you put a lot of coffee. You put about a cup and a half of coffee in this thing, and then 4 to 6 cups of water, and just put it in the fridge overnight. You should do. I usually end up doing 8 to 10 hours. You should do 12 to 24. I should start making my batches a little sooner, but it is what it is. And I say it is what it is, and it's also my least favorite phrase, because it is what it is always said by somebody that can change it. I love cappuccino, but I usually just add a count of creamer to black coffee, medium to dark roast. Again, Neon Ghost in the chat saying that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple with me too. It's like I'll make the cold brew, and it's dead easy to make, and then I just pour it on ice and a couple creams, couple sugars out the door. If I'm picking up coffee somewhere else, it's literally just I'm going to the QT gas station across the street and getting black coffee and putting some creamer and sugar in it. I like very simple coffee. Yeah, iced coffee is my favorite, especially now, right now in the summers. Super refreshing, good caffeine content. It's just a nice way to wake up. It's pleasant. I'm sorry, I just crunched right in everybody's ear with that one. I'm stopping. Drinking some right now. Hell yeah. I would not be. Well, personally, I wouldn't be drinking coffee this late in the day, but it's almost 8 o'clock my time. I do love a good coffee though. I had, other than a cold brew, I'll put this out there. There was a food truck in this area called Turkish Texans, and they did Turkish Texas fusion cuisine, if you want to call it, food truck cuisine. But they had a chicken fried steak gyro, delicious. But I was a regular there, and the guy that ran it and owned it gave me a free little cup of Turkish coffee. Night Owl going to be up at 7 a.m. minimum. Got to get my gaming and shows in tonight. Ghost, yeah, I think I'm gaming after this too. So, but I'm probably sticking with the larceny. Yeah, the guy from the food truck, like he was just like, you need to try this. You like coffee? I was like, yeah. He's like, Turkish coffee. And it was the darkest, richest, but smoothest coffee I've ever had. And it was a tiny little cup. And I was wired the rest of the day. It was amazing. So if you get a chance to try a Turkish coffee, go for that. Try that out. If you get a chance to try anything out of your comfort zone, food-wise, drink-wise, like I was such a picky eater for so long. I missed out on a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah. I missed out on a lot of stuff, and I'm, catching up on it now, basically, now that my palate's expanded. Yeah, like I said, I've posted about, like, there was going to be some tangents. There's been plenty of tangents on this episode. Got all the questions. That's good stuff. One more chat with certain textures I can't stand, but virtually open to all foods. Same here, Ghost. Like, texture is the thing that's always going to kill me with eating foods. I love the flavor that mushrooms add to things. I cannot stand the texture. I cannot bite into a piece of mushroom. If it's really diced up and like mixed in, good to go. But can't just bite in. If I see a mushroom, cannot bite into that thing. Mushy or gooey ones, yeah. Can't do mushrooms. Can't do olives. Yeah, texture's always gonna. I won't even. It's oh, now I'm getting hungry again. Even though I'm talking about foods I'm never gonna touch, but yeah, like I didn't like cheese until I was 18, 17, 18. Just didn't like cheese. Cheese. I didn't like cheese. I ate plain hamburgers. Just burgers with ketchup on them. Yeah, what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't like cheese. I love it now. I can't get enough of it. I didn't like ranch or mayonnaise until I was in my 20s. Couldn't stand them. Could not stand either one of those. Talking about talking about cheese. Probably my first favorite thing on earth. Yeah, like I like pizza, but that wasn't. It was just a different. It was pizza. Pizza's a whole thing. I wasn't looking at any of the ingredients. Then I would realize, like, oh, I'd like cheese because I like pizza. I like all these other things because it's on pizza. And Ninja Turtles like pizza, so I like pizza. I'm iffy on Neon Ghost is iffy on mayo. I was iffy on mayo until I realized, like, I like Philly cheesesteaks from the mall. They always have mayo on them, and that's what makes them good. Okay, that creamy texture they add to it. Let me check this. I'm gonna check this comment. I can't read it from here. Ghost says, I don't remember much of my childhood, but the first ever show until I did in elementary school. I think I bought on a slice of cheese to show people because I thought they would think it was amazing, and they just looked at me like I was a weirdo. You never really know how weird your habits are until you explain them to other people, or you just do them in front of other people, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like, I've just always done it this way. Like, it's normal, right? You do this, right? Like, yeah, I do that, but not the way you're doing it. It's fun though, like the little cultural differences, even just and not cultural differences, but familial differences. I guess is the that's probably the right way to say it. You just grow up with something and you realize that's not really the way everybody else has been doing it. I think everyone would have the same reaction. Yeah, it's just like that's so deflating because you think you found something so different and so incredible, and you show it to somebody and they're just like, yeah, okay, oh. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up. Where I'm gonna actually get one episode at least at the hour mark, which I've been trying to do with all the other ones. They're all still available on YouTube. Go back and check those out. Join me next week. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do a music episode. I got a couple ideas for that. I'm gonna find some people. In the meantime, check out theonlyadultoninternet.com. That's got all my links. sickosclub.com. Check that out for just all kinds of fun wrestling content and merch. Really cool merch up there. If you like what I'm doing, also check out Sickos Club because there's links to other podcasts that you can hear my voice on. as a guest and soon as a voiceover. The voice of Sicko's Club. My dulcet tones are going to be all in your ears pretty soon. So check that out. And then check out, if you like this, patreon.com, Kurt Jangle. Throw me $5 for a nice coffee. I'd much appreciate that. One last check in the chat, Neon Ghost. Haha, right. All right. Again, this has been the pregame. I've been Kurt Jangle. You've all been lovely. Thank you. Love you. And good night.